Hello, and welcome back to another episode of This Healthy Life podcast. I'm Erica, and I'm very excited to be interviewing Stephen Davis today. Stephen is the founder of NIKKI, a bioenergetic wearable that delivers light-emitting frequencies designed to promote cellular function, immunity, and healing. This wellness center on your wrist helps people overcome common issues, including poor sleep, pain, allergies, low energy, and stress. And it's also a game changer in people recovering from Lyme disease and other chronic conditions. Stephen, welcome. So excited to dive into this topic with you today. I love using like frequency medicine and like bioenergetics. As you know, I don't know if you looked into my blog and stuff, but I also had Lyme disease, and using like homeopathics with frequencies was a really big game changer for me. So super excited to learn about NIKKI that you can just wear on your wrist and have similar effects. So yeah, welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, no, excited to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to just dive right in, and I want to have you tell us all about what NIKKI is and what it means to use bioenergetics and having it as a wearable, and kind of just tell all our listeners what that means and what it does.
Okay. Well, I'll start with how it began. Mm-hmm. First off, I'm not a doctor. I was a desperate dad. And so my daughter had Lyme disease for 12 years. And the first 8 years, we chased everything, went from doctor to doctor. She had 2 sons in those first 8 years, and they had significant health issues. Mm. We were told one was diagnosed to be autistic, and the other one was just ADHD off the charts. But 8 years into it, I had a university run some tests on my daughter, and they said that they found some markers that would lead them to think that she might have Lyme disease. My response was, what's Lyme disease? Like, it's not on the radar. Like, doctors are not talking about Lyme disease. At least in Canada, they're not. And so, anyway, as a family, we're happy now. We know what it is. And so let's go and get it resolved. And so 2 years later, and tens of thousands of dollars later, we still had no results. And so I hooked up with another guy who was playing with some light technology. And we ended up creating a technology, which today we call NIKKI, which is this. And this here is the actual device that we use for Lyme disease.
Looks like an iWatch. It looks easy to wear.
It's very easy to wear. It's just plug and play. And what we did is we ran our first trial in 2016. We had 12 people with chronic Lyme disease, 3 of them being my kids, my daughter and my 2 grandsons. And we did the trial, and within 3 months after that, their lives became normal.
Wow.
And so they've never used the device except for that trial for Lyme disease, and that was in 2016. Today, my grandsons, the one is not autistic. He's just a normal 15-year-old today.
Fantastic.
And the other one that was ADHD off the charts, he's just a normal 16-year-old. And my daughter, she's gone back to school, got her teaching degree. They're all living life to the fullest.
Great.
And so I could have stopped at that point, but I met so many people that were struggling with the same issues as my family that when I found a solution for my family, there's no way that I could just walk away from those people. And I tell you, going into this world of Lyme disease is not for the faint of heart. Because there's so much resistance, so much lack of hope, and people are just, they're spending lots of money just trying to get a little bit of their lives back. And so we decided to start a little business and start going out there and sharing our story. And so we'd go to Lyme support groups and share a story of hope, answer their questions. Then we would get everybody to put their name in a hat. And I would pick one person, and then I would come back in 90 days after they've used the device and stand up in the front of the room with them and let them share their experience, good or bad. I mean, like, it's one thing saying that we've got a solution for Lyme disease, but, it's not an easy path to get through it.
And it's not a one-size-fits-all either. What works for some people, unfortunately, doesn't work for others. But
well, we're finding that with our tech, the way that we put it together, like this here's how we did it. So our body, we believe that our bodies have been created to absorb light. I mean, the sun feeds us light every day. And so that was our first approach. So that's how we're going to penetrate the body. Now, what we did is we learned that your cells, they're designed to retain low energy light. And so the energy went down, the pulse went down, but we don't take, this is not, like when I turn this on, there's a red light that comes on the back. This is not red light therapy. The only reason we use red light is because it carries frequencies into the body a little deeper than if you were using other. Now, Dr. Klinghardt, he'll tell me that you can use white light and get the same effect because we're loading up the cells in the water barrier right underneath the skin. And so you can get the same effect. And so what we learned in this, though, is you cannot treat Lyme disease. You can't go after Lyme disease one pill at a time or one tincture or one supplement. Like you're not going to win. I mean, we've all done that. And so we started capturing, I built my own capture chamber. And so we started capturing the frequencies from plant-based products that we thought would have an advantage in helping us overcome Lyme disease. So we ended up with 74 different frequencies. We packaged them up on the NIKKI, and they all go into the body at exactly the same time. So nothing has a chance to hide. And with frequencies, you can deal with a lot of issues at the same time because they don't blend together. And so they stay individually, where you can't take 100 different supplements at the same time because your body's gonna OD and you're gonna get sick. And so we've stumbled onto something just by trying to help my kids that is changing the way we go after Lyme disease. And so this here is just a plug and play. You put this on, you turn it on, and in the first minute, you're going to get detox and a few other things that are going to help with drainage. Then you're going to get 1 minute of the Lyme program, which goes after the spirochete, goes after all the co-infections, mold, and others.
Cool. That was my next question, if it targets co-infections too.
Yeah, but only for 1 minute.
Okay.
And then you run 60 minutes of things that make your body feel good. And so then the next day, it advances by 1 minute. So now it's 2 minutes by 2 minutes by 60. And the goal is to get you to 30, 30, 60. And that's that. So at the end of the first month, you should be running the full program and you should be well on your way to recovery at that point. We used to just go right into a program where it was 90 days, where you had 30 minutes of the detox and a few goodies and then the Lyme and it just kept going on. But some people, they're just too sensitive to run that big of a program. And so that's why we built the program that goes 1 minute by 1 minute by 60. But we learned that people are getting better faster through that program than through the 90-day program. So we don't have any day limit. Your body's going to tell you when the time is right, or you can go get tested to see that your co-infections have fallen away, Lyme has fallen away, and then you can start using other frequency sets that we provide that's going to help build your immune system and other things that, got a little damage while you went through the process of Lyme disease. And so we went through that and it worked. And that's where we are today when it comes to Lyme disease. We've just got a very simple wearable. Now on this, we just launched this. So you've got your Lyme disease on here, but then we've got 9 other frequency sets. And so we're going to if you want to just run something for mold or for sleep or for energy, like we've got other things that are built in that you can choose once you've run your Lyme program.
So you do run the Lyme program and then you run whatever else you're needing support on that day. Okay.
Because it starts to rebuild your system. And so because Lyme is, it can be brutal on the whole system. And so we found that what appears to, we've figured out a process and the right frequencies to go all in the body at the exact same time to help overcome the issues that come with Lyme disease, including Lyme disease itself. And once you wake up your immune system, because that's all we're doing, we can do no harm. We're only putting information into the body. And so we're helping the body, we're helping the immune system get its communication back. When communication breaks down in the body, in your cellular communication, it's because of some kind of physical trauma or emotional trauma. And so all we're doing is rebuilding that. It's like a vaccine. And back in the day when they were first invented, I'll say, they were used to wake up your immune system to a health issue that it was ignoring.
Mm-hmm.
And that may not be the case today. I don't know the case today, but I do know that what we do is the same thing. We recreate those communication pathways to wake up the immune system to an issue that it's ignoring.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked. And I got my kids back.
That's amazing.
And we see other people getting their kids back and their lives back.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, this is not for the faint of heart. People say, why did you choose Lyme first? Because it's hard.
Yeah.
But I didn't. Lyme chose me. And it chose me through my kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it chose me because I've got a heart for this.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're not out there trying to build a business. We're out there trying to help people overcome a disease that nobody has been able to overcome.
Mm-hmm.
They can do it if you catch it early.
Yep.
But it's very difficult once it gets out of your blood system.
Most people don't even know when they catch it early. Most people don't find out they have it until years later, unfortunately.
That's right. So how long have you had Lyme disease?
I got bit unknowingly in 2012, and I didn't get diagnosed until 2014. I've been in remission since about 2017. So thankfully haven't really had Lyme issues. I have a lot of autoimmune issues that Lyme disease turned on that I still kind of deal with and manage. But thankfully Lyme symptoms have been calm. But I'm intrigued because I have a lot of issues with mold still. That's another big trigger that I'm still kind of constantly working on, constantly getting exposed to, constantly managing. So that's another equally uphill battle to Lyme. So definitely intrigued in how NIKKI can help with mold. And I'd love for you to share about that. You mentioned that it can help with, sleep and different things like that. So how do those frequencies and how do those kind of treatments work compared to, say, the Lyme one that you build up slowly and you run over time?
Well, those things are a little bit different, where we built them right into the program. And so when we were in the Bay Area and we're testing people for Lyme, we're finding that it was like 98% of the people that had Lyme also had mold. And so the thing about Lyme disease, and I don't mean this to be offensive to anybody, but it just seems to be the fact of the matter, that people that have Lyme disease, and when they have it long enough, they start to think that everything that's wrong with them is because of Lyme disease.
Mm-hmm.
And indirectly, they're correct, because Lyme disease compromises your immune system in such a way that it allows other things to come in, like mold,
yep,
and attack.
Yep.
And so it's not always like, we're not a silver bullet. We're not going to clear up all your health issues just because you have Lyme disease. We're going to deal with Lyme disease, co-infections, and several other things. But what's happened, when we learned what we did on how to approach Lyme disease, we took the same approach and started looking at sleep issues, fatigue, pain, stress, and so on. And we found that going into the body with a bundle of frequencies at the same time is very effective on all issues. And so we obviously haven't uncovered all issues because frequencies are an exact science. And so you can't be close and hope to get the result. You need to be right over the target. And so that's where our challenges come in. But the process that we've developed to be able to do this, like our sleep program, one of our sleep programs has 202 different frequencies in it. Our sports program for sleep, it has a rehabilitation or recovery program that deals primarily with inflammation and the wear and tear of the body during the day, particularly for athletes. Like these hockey players, their bodies are constantly inflamed. And so this is helping them recover through the night while they're sleeping or during the day. It doesn't have to be attached to the sleep program. But we've learned a new way of delivering bundles of frequencies at the same time to deal with multiple issues. And that's where the NIKKI comes in. So we've got one that's dedicated for Lyme disease. And it's got 9 other packages that are going to help you with areas that we know you're struggling with. But when you don't have Lyme disease, we've got 10 different packages. Frequency sets is what we call them. And we call them a frequency set because there's multiple frequencies in them. And so we have 10 different frequency sets in the general wellness program. And it helps with a lot of things. Like if you've got allergies, this is the time of year. I'm telling you, we knock it out of the park when it comes to that. Another thing that we do extremely well, and we did this because of people with Lyme disease, is where we discovered everything we discover is because of Lyme disease. But we discovered that EMF, people are with Lyme disease are extremely sensitive. And so what we've done is on the device itself, it might be hard to see, but there's we can turn the Bluetooth off. And so once you download the frequencies from the app, turn the Bluetooth off, and you've got no EMF coming off the device, because you don't need to have the EMF going. Where if you have an Apple Watch or a Fitbit, other devices out there,
constantly communicating,
they have to have it, otherwise they lose functionality.
Yep.
And so we've paid attention to what people are saying about Lyme disease and what we've learned from personal experience. And that's one of the things that we're doing right, is blocking the EMF.
That's great.
We don't just block the EMF. We've also put a EMF frequency package together that's in this device that blocks EMF from coming into your cells. Because you can block EMF from coming off NIKKI, but oh my goodness, Wi-Fi is everywhere. G5, it's everywhere. Your phones are everywhere. Microwave, like it just goes on and on and on. And so we did come up with a program that seems to be blocking it from entering the cells. If it doesn't enter the cells, it's like information falling on deaf ears. It's not going to cause you any issues.
Yep. So what is a day in the life like wearing the NIKKI? Do you just wear it while you're giving yourself the treatments for an hour, or is it something that you wear all day long and it's emitting frequencies like through the day, or it's kind of like a day in the life using the wearable?
When you use it for Lyme disease, at the end of the first 30 days, the maximum program is 2 hours. And so we really encourage you to do it the way we ask, because if you do, your chances of you recovering is going to be huge. It's like an antibiotic. If the doctor tells you take it for 7 days or 14 days and you don't, what happens? You don't get better. And so we really encourage people to run the Lyme program, then go into the other programs and do whatever is meeting your needs in the day. For me, I get up in the morning, I run my NIKKI 23 hours a day. I get up in the morning, I throw it on the charger. By the time I go to work, it's fully charged. They're a very quick charge. And so I'll get up and I may throw on my travel, because I look at travel as I leave my home, I'm traveling. I'm going to the grocery store. I want things that are frequencies that are coming into my cells that are going to protect me. And so that's what we do. Or if I need energy, I might click on my energy at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, because it's not like the energy wakes up. We didn't come after your body to wake your body up. What I wanted to do is wake up the brain. Didn't know that you wake up your brain, your body gets energized. And so, a lot of this stuff, the way that we package together, we're pioneering. Other people do not do what we do. Other red light therapy, all they're doing is pulsing the color of red at different levels with different energy and to cause a different effect in the body. I think frequency technology is the right path to go down. And we went down that path because of Lyme disease. But because of that, we have learned how to approach the body with the right information to overcome lots of things. And it'll just continue to grow. We just went to an event called Echo 24. And it was an event that was put on through Cellcore. Cellcore, they're a supplement company. And there was approximately 1,500 doctors there, practitioners. And we were validated at that event. I mean, we saw, there was a couple of hundred practitioners walking around with NIKKIs on their wrist. Didn't seem to matter where you went. There was conversation around what NIKKI was doing. We had people come up to us that had Lyme disease. These are practitioners, and I said, well, let's see if you got Lyme disease, because if they can wear my device without having any kind of notice that we're putting frequencies in, chances are they don't have Lyme disease. But these doctors, after 2 minutes, they said, okay, I'm feeling this from my head to my toes. I need to take it off because I don't want to herx at the event.
Wow.
But it's very potent what we deliver through this. The information, if you deliver the right information, the body uses it. And sometimes it's not comfortable in what you're having to deal with. It's like if you go to a chiropractor, as soon as you lay on the table, you're not feeling great. And then when he starts manipulating you, well, you're not feeling great at all. Even when you leave, you don't feel fantastic. But over a few days and a few times, you start to feel better. And that's the same with what we do. It's you may herx a little bit in the beginning, but it's short-lived. It's not going to continue on. And I know that I'm not supposed to say this, but I do anyway. When I was doing it with my daughter was herxing. We didn't start a slow program. It was full on 30 minutes of Lyme. We didn't prep the body. We didn't do anything. And so she even broke out into some boils. And I had to sit and say, sweetheart, you just need to push through this. And she did. And she came out the other side of it and has never looked back. Does everybody break out and stuff? No. That just happened to be because of the program.
The aggressiveness of it.
But today we've learned how to help people and be a little bit more gentle.
That's good. It's important with Lyme because if you want to stick with the treatment that you're doing, people don't realize that you feel worse before you feel better with it, but you don't have to get to the finish line within just a couple of weeks. Like you have to realize that it's going to be a process and not overburden your body and take your time with it and let the body have time to heal as well.
That's right. And people like yourself, you've had Lyme for a long time. And that's going to take a toll on your body. But you've gone through that process. For you to take the process and the time for what we're offering, it's way shorter than what you've gone through. But you're going to go through a little bit of stuff, and your body's going to tell you. There's people like Scott Forsgren. He's the Better Health guy. He never is out without his NIKKI. Like he wears his product. I don't think he's got Lyme or mold or anything anymore, but he wears it anyway because I believe that people that have Lyme disease develop PTSD. And my daughter, for the first year, every time she would get a cold, she would phone me up and she'd, Dad, I need the light. It's back. And it's not back. It won't come back. And then she'd get reinfected. But your body can at least deal with some of those other things. And the really nice thing about what we do is when you deal with Lyme disease and that's out of your system, now a doctor can come in and start to correct all the other things that are going wrong because of what the immune system was going through.
Exactly.
Because you need
the
to deal
aftermath,
with the Lyme.
the Lyme aftermath.
That's right.
Yeah.
You got to deal with that first, the Lyme. And then everything else becomes a little easier to approach.
Or you can actually start treating those things and start feeling like you're getting better. Whereas if you haven't resolved the Lyme yet, you're just constantly feeling sick because you're going after all these other things. And the Lyme is what you really need to be going after. So once you wear it for the duration of the treatment, do you have to do any maintenance with it? Like every few months, do you wear it to do maintenance treatments, or is that not really necessary?
You don't. The only reason that I would I wear my Lyme program and I wear it all the time. And I've never had Lyme. The reason I do it is because particularly one of our doctors, Dr. Leanne Keneally, she says that she's never seen inflammation drop the way it drops when people wear the Lyme device. And so I thought, well, my goodness, inflammation's like the precursor of all disease. I'm going to start wearing the Lyme program if it's dealing with inflammation. And so it does things for you whether you have Lyme or not. But we also have NIKKI with the other program, which is a little less expensive. And the reason it's less expensive, it's $600. This is a frequency delivery system. And so the future opportunities that you have with this product, with NIKKI, we just keep building out packages. When we capture other people's frequencies and put them on a NIKKI, and you take the supplement that we just captured, at the same time, efficacy goes way up. because we're preparing the body for greater uptake of the nutrients that you're taking. And so those are the kinds of things that we've learned that are really making a difference. That's why Cellcore invited us to this event. You know, it's a closed event, but they chose us to come because of the results they were getting when they combined their products and NIKKI with the same frequencies. The results were just profound.
That's great.
When you get a 25+% increase in a wellness product, that's significant.
That is significant.
Some of these products don't even have a 25% efficacy rate, and yet we're increasing it that much. And so we're going to help make some change. It's going to help people get better faster, and it should lower the cost of living when it comes particularly to Lyme disease with the things that they have to take. And so those are the kinds of things that we continue to build. And, you know, we're a young company. We're not a big company. We're a publicly traded company on the Canadian Stock Exchange.
Awesome.
But our focus has been a very hard market, and that's Lyme disease. And we thought we found the right approach where we get in front of Lyme support groups, we get in front of the room, and we do our thing. But when COVID hit, it took the front of the rooms away.
Yeah.
And so then it became difficult because people with Lyme disease, they don't live on their computers. And so it's difficult. But now that's getting behind us, and we're starting to get some significant traction with what we do, because the results have always been there. It's just communicating those results have been the challenge.
And then, so you mentioned you have a couple different bands. So can you have one band and load the different frequencies, like buy the different frequency packages, or do you have to have two different bands for Lyme, one for Lyme and one for the other treatments?
Well, right now you can use you can put 20 frequency sets on this device.
Gotcha.
You can put the 10 Lyme on, and you can put the 10 general
others
wellness on.
Okay.
But there's coming a time, it won't happen until maybe the fall, maybe even January, but there will be a menu where you'll be able to choose what you want. The frequency set, you'll be able to put them in the order that you want them to run. So you create your own playlist. Then you just hit play, and you don't have to wonder, oh man,
which one you're on.
That I put on for protection from getting sick, or do I put on my stress and anxiety to keep me calm while I'm on the plane? And so there's different ways, and you learn because you know your body better than I do. So you need to be able to choose, is what our company believes, on the frequency sets that you want to run at the time you want to run them. And so to get us started, we created 10 of each, but that will grow over time.
Okay.
And so will the options. So the choice will grow.
Okay. And then, so what are some of the future treatments that you want to do, or with the frequencies? So you mentioned you have sleep, you have athletic recovery. I mean, these are all in addition to Lyme and treating Lyme. You have protection and anxiety and EMF protection. So what are some future kind of like health concerns or health ailments that you're really focused on trying to put some frequencies together for?
Well, next month is Male Health Month, month of June. And so we'll build a package for men. We're building a package for women. Those are going to be great. We've got packages that we're building for children. One of my favorite ones that we're putting together is, if you can just imagine with me for a minute, because the thing is, everything vibrates. And so everything's got their own resonant frequency. And so you can grab frequencies for all kinds of things if you've got the right technology. And we built our own technology, and we patented our technology. And so it's really interesting. But one of the things that I can't wait till we have is when you've got that choice. So little Tommy at the dinner table, you can have on a NIKKI all the vegetables, just for example. So if you're eating broccoli, you can turn on the broccoli frequency, and now we're going to ask the body to take all the nutrients from that broccoli before it flushes through your system. and we've got a lack of nutrients in our food today as it is.
Yeah.
And so if we can enhance what we're taking and what we get at the table today, I think that that's going to be extremely good.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're really family oriented. And so those are a lot of the areas that we'll go after. We are working within the NHL arena. We've been approached with groups from the NFL. There's different things that we're doing for different needs
Mm-hmm.
in different areas. There's in the food industry, we can extend the shelf life of food in the
Wow.
grocery stores, like in the produce department. Like it's pretty nonstop, the future for us. Today, we're about wellness. We're about helping people get over the hump with Lyme disease
Mm-hmm.
and helping them with some general things. You know, the world's coming at us pretty fast and furious. And this here just kind of slows us down a little bit where we can think through the situations that we're in. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we're not going to eliminate stress.
Yeah.
Stress comes
It's always
at
going to be
you.
there.
But what we can help with is the release of the anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
The chemical release that causes the actual anxiety, that causes you to actually panic through these situations. That's what we stop.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not going to stop the world from coming at you, but we can help you slow down enough to make the right decisions without them being panic decisions.
Mm-hmm. And then, so do you have any experience with it, maybe assisting with food allergies and things like that, like helping your body balance out like food sensitivities to foods you might be sensitive to or allergic to? Is there any research or frequencies that you've used in that department, and what's been the outcome?
There's a very good one in the Lyme package, and it's for your gut. It's very good. And so that's gonna do a lot, but that's only on the Lyme program at the moment. And so, like I said, we've only got two programs right now. One's for wellness and one's for Lyme, and there's each 10, so you could put them on one device. But that's going to change once we change our firmware to give people so they've got the choice instead of me choosing on their behalf.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to start somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. And then is that something going to be that people can just update their current device without having to get a whole new device? Okay, great.
Oh,
So
yeah,
people
definitely.
can just update and via the app or something.
That's right. And we don't sell frequencies. We sell access to the frequencies. And so you'll have access to the frequencies for as long as you've got devices to play them. But they don't get sold, the frequencies.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
And they're not always ours. There's other companies that co-brand with us that will be putting their frequencies on our delivery system, because this is a personal frequency delivery system, which is fantastic. And so we get to choose other frequencies or choose other companies with frequencies that they want on it for their clientele. They may be the supplement company we're capturing all of the frequencies through their supplements so they can run the supplement and the frequency from the NIKKI at the same time, because you're going to get better uptake of the nutrients.
Yeah, help you absorb it better. Awesome. Well, this has been amazing. I'm so intrigued. Definitely want to share the link and how people can find you with the listeners. So if you can let them know what your Instagram and what your website is. And then I also have a code, Trail to Health, for 10% off. I'm going to go ahead and link to it in the show notes, but we'd love for you to share how people can find you and learn more about NIKKI as well.
Okay. Well, I would go to wearenikki.com, and that's where you're going to find all the information about what we're doing on the NIKKI. So it's going to cover off the wellness program and the Lyme program. I believe that there is a special running this month. And look, my goal is not to have a high ticket price so I can discount. We know what our costs are associated with these products, and particularly around Lyme disease, because we journey with you. We don't just say, okay, here's a Lyme device, see you later. We journey with you. So if you've got any questions, we're just a phone call away to walk that journey with you, because you're going to have questions. You may herx, and you may want some remedies on how you can minimize that herxing, and our team is going to be able to help in those areas. Where the general wellness program, well, it's plug and play. You want to sleep? Turn that thing on before you go to bed, put it on sleep, and you're going to sleep extremely well. And one of the things that I really, you've got the Oura Ring, you've got Apple Watches, Fitbits, and a variety of technology that's tracking things. Well, if you want to see whether or not our tech works, well, run your Apple Watch or your Fitbit or your Oura, and you'll see that you're sleeping extremely well.
I love that.
So they get to track and see.
Yeah. It's always nice to see metrics to make sure like what you're doing is actually benefiting you and actually working or making a difference. Because a lot of times, you know, with things in the health space or even supplements, you're like, oh, I'm taking this, but I don't know if it's working or I don't know if it's doing anything. So it's always nice, A, that you feel a difference when you're using the wearable, and then also that you can see those metrics and see how it's improving your health.
Right. Well, if you want a big if you want a big wow factor, you got to have a wow issue, right? And so people with Lyme, believe me, it's a wow factor.
It's a lot of wows.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. And so we're here. Our company's been put together in such a way that we're here to support the people we sell technology to. We're a technology company. We're not a medical company. I was just a desperate dad trying to come up with a solution for my family. We did come up with that solution, but now we're helping families all over the world.
Amazing. I love this. So I'm definitely going to share all the links to find you, share the code, and so excited to have you on the podcast. This has been such an interesting topic. I think you've been definitely one of the most interesting items and products that I've interviewed. So very excited to have you on, and thank you for joining me today.
So I'm just going to throw something out. Yeah. So I would like to donate a NIKKI to you.
Okay.
And I'd like you to give it away to somebody.
Okay. I can do that.
So you can have a draw with your listeners or whatever, and I'll let Miriam and Janice know so they can get you looked after.
Perfect.
Because the best response that you can get is a personal response. Because, you know, people have heard so many stories and they've been given so many promises and they've spent so much money that it's difficult. We're here to stay. We're here to journey alongside of you. We're not going anywhere. And so you can trust that.
Awesome. Yeah, I would love to do a giveaway for someone, see how it can help.
Yeah, we're going to do that.
Awesome. Sounds great.
Well, thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.